Children are both the bane and the joy of my life. Some days they can get on my very last nerve, and others they can be the best part of my day. I have worked in childcare for over 2 years now, and I have seen it all: the good, the bad, the ugly, and all of the nasty bits in between. It's common for people my age to hear the word children and instantly shut off, but I'm not going to tell you to go and look over 30 screaming children for a day like I do. Instead, I'm going to share with you some of my observations and experiences that contribute to why I believe that we should take a page out of their book and learn from children. There is a lack of kindness in our world, and it's the little things that add up that are slowly conditioning us to think that this is the norm. We all contribute to it subconsciously, and I know I do it too. When I pass someone on the street, I am looking away so I don't make eye contact. I am wishing an elevator would go faster so I don't have to make awkward conversation with anyone else in there with me. And I am ordering online so I don't have to talk to salespeople. There is a hole in our society that separates us from each other. Children are the purest and least corrupt of us all, and they act on pure emotion and will without any judgment or bias. They say and do what they believe is right, and they care open-heartedly about the people around them. And they aren't afraid showing people that they care. This is why kids make friends so easily. And there are no fears involved, only excitement at meeting new people. These qualities are lost on adults, and their absence is contributing to this hole and the lack of love, kindness, and connectivity around us. In a world full of judgment and cruelty, the simple acts of a child can create an everlasting impact and influence on your life. So, I want to look at the 3 main points that I've taken from mine and others' observations of children that I believe can be extremely beneficial to us in today's world as adults. An article written by Lara Aknin and Elizabeth Dunn, published in the Plus One journal, covers an experiment involving toddlers, treats, and puppets. They wanted to find out whether or not children at this early stage in life found happiness in giving, sharing with others, even if it meant that they would be losing something of their own. The children, toddlers, in this experiment were introduced to a puppet who liked treats. The child was then given a bowl full of treats, and the puppet was given one with none. The children were then given an extra treat to give to the puppet, and then urged to give it one of their own. They monitored and observed the changes in happiness throughout all these stages of the experiment, and they found that the children were happiest in giving up their own treats to give to the puppet, and this made the puppet, who loved treats, very happy, and the children shared in that happiness. This observation of humans at their youngest stage and purest stage in life gives a greater perspective at human nature as a whole. We share in each other's happiness. It's infectious, like a yawn or a smile or laughter, and it always feels better when you are the one causing it. And children do this automatically. I work in before and after school care most days of the week, and I've gotten to know too many kids to count. Just a few weeks ago, on one Tuesday morning, I had 4 different kids each make me a picture to take home. There was a lion, a dolphin, a horse, and even one sparkly blob on a mostly blank piece of paper, but I loved them all. The oldest kid was 11 and the youngest was 6, but they had the same thought to make me something, and it made my day and brightened theirs when I took all of them home with me. Children aren't afraid of rejection or people thinking their pictures aren't cool. They just want to share something with someone, to do something nice for another and feel good about it. They don't hesitate or overthink about the implications or consequences. They just care about sharing that moment of happiness. I believe that we have lost this impulse, as our adult brains are too caught up in overthinking the implications and complications that might arise. We worry and overthink, and in the midst of all this have lost that drive to give freely, which in turn has meant us losing the ability to express affection and appreciation through a platonic way without any intentions or motives. So the next thing I have learned from the children around me is how they deal with conflict. Marina Cords and Melanie Killen wrote an article about a study looking into the lengths young children go in order to avoid conflict. Weird thought, I know, but They explore the use of 3 different conventions used to keep the peace. The first of which human infants have in common with primates, which is the ownership or prior occupancy rule. So, if you brought that toy, you get to play with it. No arguments. The next convention is the recognition of leadership or dominant roles in your circle. They say that the knowledge of power roles in their social circles helps to eliminate conflict and on and off the playground. And the third convention is a routine and sticking to the status quo, following basic manners and the norms of those around you. I have seen these conventions day to day and they work. Children have this inbuilt system that they all follow and obey, more or less. No one likes being in the middle of conflict, and they have perfected ways of getting out of it and avoiding it altogether. These conventions are also used in the adult world, but not to the same degree as our younger counterparts. As we get older, we seem to care less about avoiding conflict, and in turn, we gain a few more skills such as spite and holding grudges and gossiping, all of which I'm sure we've experienced in one way or another. As we get older, we grow grumpier and become more cynical and give less shits about others. And so lastly, I'm sure we know all too well, kids are brutally honest. 9 times out of 10, they will blurt out whatever comes to mind without a second thought. Sometimes it can lead to hurt feelings, but better to be honest than lie, right? As we grow older, we become more aware of people's feelings, especially the feelings of those who we care about, and we find ourselves telling little lies to ensure those feelings don't get hurt. Stuff like, oh no, I'd know until you fall over, or you know what, your fringe really suits you. Those little lies are okay to protect and support the people we love, but lying is too easy, and not all lies are harmless. They get bad when you're talking behind someone's back, spreading rumours, or not being truthful with how you feel about someone. They're all too easy to do, and people do it every day. These habits are contributing to the lack of kindness in the world, and we only have ourselves to blame. Children are honest and open when expressing happiness and love. They're honest when conflict arises. They're honest in all of these situations because that's what they are taught and told to do. I'm not sure at what time or age we lose that learning, but I think it's time to bring it back. Out with the fake and the two-facedness and the lies, big and small. Children are more honourable ones when it comes to honesty and who we learn from. And so in a world of confusion and stress and all the ugly stuff, a child's simple state of mind and crystal clear motivations make the most sense to me and sound far better than whatever is going on in our heads. So, no, you don't have to go and hang out with children for an afternoon. I have done all that work for you. I simply urge you to take note, give freely, and share in each other's happiness. Don't start or hold on to conflict. Resolve and move on. And be honest, as lying has never got anyone very far without a muddied conscience. Learn from those annoying, smelly, loud, surprisingly, yet unconsciously wise kids, because anything to make life a little less complicated, can't